Lock the closet door, man. Problem solved.
Hello and welcome to the Cavern of Terror.
The Boogeyman stars Barry Watson, Emily Deschanel, and is directed by Stephen K. Guys, guys, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start out guns blazing because I believe this film, The Boogeyman, directed by Stephen K, has probably the most supernatural opening clip ever. I mean, even down to the title sequence. We open up past bedtime, you know, when it's dark, you're in bed, it's time to go to sleep, and we're in this little boy named Tim's room. And Tim seems to suffer from the same universally shared fear when we're little of the Boogeyman.
I'm the Boogeyman, and I'm coming to get you!
No, not that Boogeyman. Little do we know as the viewer, or Tim, or most importantly Tim's parents, that the Boogeyman is real. He straight up murders Tim's dad. I'm gonna warn you guys right now, I'm gonna make a ton of supernatural references throughout this review.
What does that mean?
Guys, this script was co-written by Eric Kripke, and if you're a fan of television, you'll know that name well. Eric Kripke actually created Supernatural. Actually, another thing before we get rolling into this review. We've got a 2005 release date. We've got over-polished, saturated colors. We even have a moody early 2000s score. We've got Barry Watson. We even have a Deschanel. Looks like the Cavern of Terror is back in business. Let's flash forward 15 years later. Adult Tim is still struggling with his fear. Now he must face his fear, or we wouldn't have a horror movie. No, actually, now he must face his fear. He has to return to his childhood home after the death of his mother. How long has it been since we've seen Barry Watson in something? Oh, it has been a long time. While Barry Watson doesn't wow me with his performance here, he's suitable. For me, I thought Watson did a good job in this film. I believed his character's motivations. He's a likable guy. I felt for what he was going throughout this runtime because this script really does throw a lot of curveballs at this character. The psychological weight is heavy on this character's shoulders, and I wonder if he could use some help. I wonder if the Winchesters are busy.
Get in line, bitch.
Speaking of supernatural jokes aside, this really does feel like an extended episode of the series. I mean, even down to the tone, the atmosphere, the fact that a bunch of characters are wearing badass jackets, and Barry Watson's character drives a classic muscle car. I mean, that screams supernatural. Can we just cover one more thing before we get into the more technical aspect of the Boogeyman? Why was Lucy Lawless cast in this film? I mean, I understand she might not be a big name to a lot of people, but I watched Xena Warrior Princess and Hercules back in the 90s and 2000s, and understand that Sam Raimi, who produced this, and you can tell throughout a lot of the cinematography and camera angles that Sam Raimi was involved with this. Why was she here in such a small role? Spoiler territory, she plays Barry Watson's mother, but she's only in one flashback sequence. Why wasn't she another character? She could have easily been Barry Watson's girlfriend's mother, or who's in the film for a little bit longer, or played another character like one of the doctors at the mental ward that we see at the very beginning of the film. It's just, I don't understand why Lucy Lawless is involved in this film when she really doesn't get to do anything. Now that that is out of the way, we can get into probably my biggest gripe with this film. And as a whole, I'll tell you that I like this movie. But I just can't get past this. This is a really big gripe for me. Why, and I need a good reason. Why did the Boogeyman character have to be CGI? Bear with me here, guys, I have a point. Let's take a look at this film. You can tell a lot of it was shot on sets. You can tell clearly that they didn't spend a lot of money on the cast. So again, tell me, why was this character CGI? Tell me, why couldn't we, with all of the amazingly talented special effects artists out there, that we couldn't get a fully practical stuntman with, you know, practical makeup Boogeyman? I understand that later in the film, some of his powers, especially in the third act, are stupid powerful. But why don't you just use a practical, you know, makeup effects on the face, the hands, the clothes, just give him really cool clothes, have a cool stuntman do it, and then enhance some of his powers with CGI. You get the best of both worlds there. Bad CGI ruins a lot of horror films. I mean, one of the biggest gripes I had with it, 2017 I believe was that release date, was the CGI at the end of the film in the third act. Bad CGI can ruin a horror film. Don't waste your time with a full render of the character when you can easily get a stunt performer and there's beautiful practical effects right over there. Since we're here and this movie came out in 2005, I guess we can talk about the third act, or what I like to call the CGI fest. I really did not see the need for all that CGI, to be honest with you. If you look back in the first and third acts of this film, there wasn't a dependence on CGI. There was dark atmosphere. I mean, the lighting was literally dark. They took advantage of the creepy sets that they built for this film. This is the last time I'm gonna say it, I promise you. Stick with the creative sets and dark atmosphere. We don't need the CGI. It only makes this film better. Guys, I really wanted to end this review with the story and some of the problems that I have with the ending of the film. Again, more spoilers, and I know that's a total opposite of my channel. I don't usually do a lot of spoilers, but guys, I gotta talk about it. And this came out in 2005, so if you haven't seen The Boogeyman, I'm sorry. Throughout this entire story, Tim is trying to prove what no one believes. The Boogeyman took his dad. At the same time, we get a few flashbacks of Tim's father trying to help him overcome his fear. I believe that that effectively shows you that it motivates Tim to try to take out the Boogeyman and show his dad that he is strong. So how about this? How about we fix up the end of this movie just a little bit? How about instead of the Boogeyman CGI crow fest that's at the end of this movie, we insidious it a little bit. Have Tim go through the closet into the lair of the Boogeyman. And you can use more of those beautiful dark sets, and he has to take out the Boogeyman in his world. But he does it with the help of his father. And could you imagine? There's a scene where they take out the Boogeyman together, and his father says, "I'm proud of you, son." And he leaves that world knowing that he's overcome the Boogeyman and shown his father that he is strong. Don't tell me that that would have been too expensive to film, because this movie, The Boogeyman, had a $20 million budget. Insidious's budget was only $6 million more. Okay, rant over. Let's get into the rating, guys. For me, I'm gonna have to give The Boogeyman a... Well, at least for me, I can't realistically give it a metal claw, guys. It's not the greatest movie of all time. Really, in the end, is The Boogeyman a great film? No, it's not. But I sure do think it's fun, though. This may be the most 2000s film I've ever seen. It's a teenage favorite of mine. I used to watch this movie all the time on PSP. And if you like a spooky, you know, horror, light, supernatural horror flick, play the clip. I suggest you check this one out. Alright guys, that has been my review of The Boogeyman from 2005. What do you think of The Boogeyman? Let me know down in the comments down below. And as you guys know, I will be reviewing The Boogeyman 2 and The Boogeyman 3. Those videos are coming up very soon. I'm also finishing my Final Destination franchise. So, if you want to see those videos, make sure you give this video a like. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Comment down below. Let me know what you think of the Boogeyman franchise. Until I see you guys again, check me out on social media. All those links are down there as well in the description box. I've been Zach. This has been the Cavern of Terror. Stay metal, my friends.